All right. I guess we're live. I'm just looking like, okay, yeah, it's going. All right, what do we got? JJ's here, Dale from Ohio. Sonia's in the house. Delbert Jones, Nostradamus. Kathy's here. How's everybody doing this night? Or tonight, I should say. This night, right? I hope everybody is doing well. We got Scott is here. Nice to see you here. So we got to talk about, the latest and the greatest thing that just came over today. It sounds like it's all they're talking about. We'll be talking about that here shortly. But before we jump into anything, we got Vicky's here, James is here, Red Ink 88, Beef and Chicken, interesting name. We got chickens today. Well, if your name is Beef and Chicken, I hope that you got chickens. Donna Hoffman's here. Yvonne is in the house. Katrina, very nice. Before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. If you cannot be decent in the chat, then I would ask you to please realize that those awesome people in blue with the blue wrenches, if you act stupid in here, they will boot you out of here. Simple as that. So, Full of Hope is in the house. Thank you for staying up late across the pond for us. Appreciate that. Uh, I got some super warm weather, windy too, coming your way. Well, I'm always good for warm. I'm definitely good for warm. I know, like I think Saturday, Sunday, we're supposed to have some chilly weather coming through, but today wasn't bad. I mean, we were 50 degrees today. Not bad at all. So, all right. Well, let's jump into things. Right? What do we got? 136 in the chat already. We got 52 thumbs up. So, real quick, if you haven't done it already, I'm going to ask you real quick to do so. Show support for the channel with that thumbs up, and I do appreciate that. Should be the last cold winter system of the winter. Yeah, I hope so. I'm definitely ready for winter to be over. Definitely ready for that. Snow's all gone, so that's good. But hey, Ed, I am who had 10 German Shepherd puppies back in January. Now have none, and it's very sad. Oh, you got rid of all of them? Yeah, I still got the four left, and I'm pretty sure I might. There's one person that might take one more, possibly, but they've kind of grown on me. So yeah, I think that there's a real strong possibility that I'm going to have all four of the puppies permanently, which I'm okay either way. I mean, it's if that's what it is, that's what it is. I am okay with it. Robert's in the house. Very nice. Welcome, welcome. Janita's here. Vicky and Carol. So, so anyway, so of course, all the talk right now. You have a pack of dogs. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, but they're pretty cool. And so, if you guys that abscess or whatever it was looks like it popped, and Hella was yeah, no work tomorrow. No kidding, Robert. Um, Hella was really very attentive, to Caesar with that abscess and or whatever it was, whatever way down. Much looks so much better. I was hoping that it would kind of take care of itself. Vets are like ridiculously expensive, and they're gonna screw you no matter what. I'm not a big fan. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I always laugh when people are like, "Oh, the vet this, the vet that, the vet the other thing." 200 years ago, let's go back. I mean, even 100 years ago. I mean, we didn't have to go back 200 years. We can go back 100 years ago. How many people were taking their animals to the vet, right? I mean, let's think about it. Who was taking their animals to the vet even 100 years ago? They weren't. You had animals. They live as long as they live. They do what they're going to do, and that was kind of it. I mean, now don't yeah. What vet 100 years ago? There wasn't vets. So I mean, what I, in my experience, and I've seen through the years that I've been on this planet, um, yeah, Caesar's doing really good. He's doing really good, Morning Light. So I had them out again this afternoon. I try to get them out like morning and then afternoon. Like I had to go out for a while today, um, and go from there. But it's just it did definitely. I didn't have to actually. I did not check his teeth, but I found out how expensive vets are recently. $1,200 shots, flea drops, antibiotics, etc. Wow. And how many was that? How many dogs? Sonya. I mean, that's just, I mean, and people, they play against your emotions because you love your animal. Two cats? Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, he's looking good, looking a lot better. Whatever that was that would blow it up on the side of his face there, it was really, really, you getting more bees? Yes. Yes, we're going to get more bees. Going to be talking with the group here coming up this next weekend when everybody comes. But right now, it looks as though we are going to go with 3 hives. That's the game plan at this point. But that's a group decision, obviously. So we'll be discussing that with everybody in the group. But I think we're going to try, and I'm thinking, well, if we're going to do that, okay. You've seen beehives before, where like you'll have, they'll have a whole cluster of beehives in one area. What I'm thinking, we may do one up by the Connex, one down here behind the chicken run, and then like another one down over by where Roy's driveway is, down over here behind Dave's. So I think we may do something like that. So if we do that, then it'll be 3 completely different areas where the bees would be at, and we'll see how they do. Time is going to tell. So, but I keep animal antibiotics on hand. I give the animals when they need to. Well, the thing is, I could give the puppy fish mox, which is an antibiotic. I mean, and I'm going to keep an eye on him, and see how he's doing. Worst case scenario, that's what I will do. As far as that goes. So, but anyway. I'm going to share something with you guys. So, Ed, will you give the dogs basic rabies and distemper for the puppies? Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. And some of you are going to hate me for this, but I really don't care. I do need to get the rabies shots. Okay. I will definitely do the rabies shots. Okay. Let me tell you about Hella. And like I said, this is none of your business. And I don't really care if you like it or if you don't like it. But Hella is going to be, what, 5 in August? Right? Hella will be 5 in August. Hella's never been to a vet. Not one time in her life has Hella been to a vet. Now, I do definitely want to get a rabies shot for her, okay? And, a lot of places offer rabies vaccine clinics for free to or reduce prices. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'll look for those clinics to get the rabies shots. But now you see, is Hella not one of the healthiest dogs you have ever seen in your life? Right? I mean, she's a very, very healthy dog. Not one time has that dog ever once been to a veterinarian. Not one time. And wow, look at that. She's thriving. She's doing great. She had puppies. They're all healthy. Imagine. I want to show you guys. Actually, I got a message today from one of the people. that took one of the puppies. Let me go back here and I'll find this and I'll show you. Uh, all right, so there's one of the puppies that was taken by people. They took the puppy, and there he is, and they named him Max, and so yeah, he's doing well. So that was cool. Now listen, I if you want to take your animals to the vet every 2 seconds, take your animal to the vet. That perfectly fine. I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't take your animal to the vet. I do believe they should have the rabies shots, just because, especially being in the woods where I'm at, I think it's safer for them to have their rabies shots and stuff like that. But I won't go to a regular veterinarian just because I believe that most of them are bloodsuckers. That's just my take. Okay, I mean that's just me. Like I said, you guys can do whatever you want to do. You can judge me however you want to judge me, and that's perfectly fine because I really don't care. But my dog is healthy, she's well, um, and she's doing fine. And like I said, I do believe she should get a rabies shot because I know she's tangled with a couple things in the woods a couple times, and she's been bitten, by whatever she was going after. So, but yeah, I just Tractor Supply has clinics that offer rabies shots. I gave our puppies their 6-in-1 shot at Tractor Supply. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I will definitely look into it. I do want all five dogs to have at least the rabies. So other than that, no. So I'm not. Yeah, I just as far as spaying and neutering them, um, maybe Hella. You know, Anubis, I'll probably wait at least till she's 2, and then possibly breed her at that point. I don't know yet. I haven't really decided. Obviously, I'm not going to breed her with her brothers, so I would breed her with an outside German Shepherd that was not related to her, and so that would be easy enough, right? So most of the puppies that I sold, only one puppy I sold was local, so you may run into interbreeding. Well, since Hella is from New York, okay, and I bred her with a dog from down here in West Virginia, I really don't think you're going to see the interbreeding stuff. And then that was somebody that was, you know, over an hour away. And so, if there's other German Shepherds around, we got our female spayed after her second litter only because go into heat. 10 to 15 male dogs would hang around. Yeah, I understand that. No, I totally get that. Yeah, no brother and sis puppies. I definitely do not want that. So if she goes to eat, she will be isolated from her brothers, and Hella will be isolated away from her children. You know, if she goes into heat as well, because I don't think I'm going to breed her again. To be honest with you, so I may get her fixed. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure all those things out as we go along. But anyway, all right. So let's. What do we got? 257 in the chat already. Got 104 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the family. I do appreciate that. It makes a huge difference with the algorithms. So thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you very much ahead of time. All right. So, elephant in the room, right? The big topic today. I look tired. Yeah, I'm okay. I didn't get. I was short sleep today for because the power. I think I told like in the earlier video I talked about the power going off, and it woke me up um, earlier than I would have anticipated. So yeah, I'm a little tired today. Not a big deal. Just it is what it is. It's just part of life, unfortunately. But anyway, what was I going to say? So Zelensky was at the White House. I'm probably pretty sure everybody has seen that whole interview and how that went down today. And of course, all the I've seen so much stuff. It's just like you know the left needs to chill out and let the president do his job. I mean, they really do. I have to laugh because Trump is coming from a position of strength. I mean, that's just it. He's coming from a position of strength. He's basically saying, you take this deal that we're offering you, or screw you. And I love that. I absolutely love that. He's not letting this guy, Zelensky, continue to play the game. You know what I mean? He's not letting him do it anymore. So he basically said, "You make this deal with us, or we cut you off, and good luck to you." Which I think that that's awesome. I really do. No more billions and billions of dollars unless you sign on that dotted line, um, giving up a percentage of your rare earth minerals that you have over there. So, but yeah, it's about time someone told him that. Exactly. Yep, exactly. So I just, you know, but I love the way Trump handled it. He didn't get angry. He basically said, you should be saying thank you. And when he was saying that the previous administration was weak and gave you $350 billion, we're not doing that. So, but I'm so unpopular here because of the high fiving Trump and DJ. Um, but I guess Europe is scared of no more NATO. The whole thing with NATO, I don't know. He's desperate for security assurances in writing. Right, and that's what he wants. But the thing is what basically Trump said, if we have American companies over that are invested in Ukraine, right? That are pulling whatever, that's our interest. So we're not going to allow Russia or anybody else to come in and do anything else. All of it, guys, realistically, if you look at the big picture of it, okay, a lot of it's grandstanding. Zelensky wants a better deal, is what he wants, than he's being offered. So he's going to play this role. But in reality, he's in such a weak position that it's scary. You know what I mean? Yeah, Trump just wants the mineral rights. And not all of them, obviously. Okay. He doesn't want all of them, but he wants to recoup the money that we have invested in there. And there's a lot of money, to be able to recoup from that. So why shouldn't they pay us back? You know what I mean? Why not? So, and the reality is this, how much of the biggest problem that I have as a taxpayer, okay, in the United States, this $350 billion, there's no accountability of where that money went. Did it all go, right? Did it all go for, military spending and helping them and doing whatever? Did it really go for that, or did it go to line somebody's pockets? Those are questions that, as a taxpayer, that I would have. I would be like, well, wait a minute. Where's an accounting of all this money that we've given you? And now Trump is saying, this isn't just a gift, you know. And they use the whole fear, and I love this part. Okay, I love this part too. Ooh, well, Russia's going to invade all of Europe. If Russia wanted to invade all of Europe, they've already would have done it. Okay, I mean, it's just this whole scare tactics that are used constantly. I mean, if you look at the real situation with Ukraine, right? Ukraine gave up their military, their nukes back in the day because they were guaranteed it will keep you safe. Remember that, right? See how'd that work out for them? Not so good, right? They were told that NATO would not be, they would not be part of NATO. Ukraine would not be part of NATO. And then Zelensky wants Ukraine to be part of NATO because then they're under that umbrella and they would be safer from you know, attacks by Russia. Now the areas, a lot of the areas, if I mean, like I said, just it's do your history. A lot of the areas that they took over, Russia did, were areas that were considered, they all spoke Russian. They considered themselves Russian, but they were in Ukraine. And so they commandeered that because there was a lot of butchering and stuff going on in those areas. Now, I'm not saying that, Russia's this innocent party that all of a sudden, they finally had enough and had to go in to do something about it. It's not what I'm saying. There's a lot of back and forth on both sides, but both sides are not innocent. Okay, let's be clear. Okay, Ukraine's not innocent, NATO's not innocent, and Russia's not innocent. The United States is not innocent. I mean, we had things going on in Ukraine, that there was guarantees and assurances before that were not going to happen, but were happening. So it's just, um, why is Zelensky against voting in Ukraine? Because he'd probably be booted out of there. People would probably have had enough. I mean, you're putting all your young. Think about the recovery time. How many decades, right, will it take to rebuild the strength of that country with more new young men? After the number of young men that have died, fighting in the last 3 years on both sides. I mean, you think about all the people that have died, but he says it's because they're under martial law. Well, you know, yeah, the biolabs, right? Pam is talking about the biolabs that were in Ukraine and what was going on there. You're not hearing about that in the news, of course, heaven forbid. But a lot of stuff was going on that was not 100% kosher. And, but that's always going to be the case. And, well, of course, he wants to stay in power as well, of course. So, and if they ever open Burisma, right, if you ever open that can of worms full of hope of what the sweetheart deals was that was going on between the Biden family, um, you know, in that big oil company where, Hunter Biden was getting $1 million a year. That was really interesting, I thought. Really, really interesting. So, lots to it. Will we ever know the full truth? Absolutely not. Never will. We're going to be told what they want us to know, and that's pretty much it. But I do remember, and I think a lot of you will as well probably have seen the video when Biden was the vice president. He had gone over to Ukraine, and there was a prosecutor who was investigating Burisma, right? And which his son was on that board. And so he told them at that point, you know, if that, and he bragged about it, folks. I mean, he sat there and he bragged about it, saying, if that prosecutor's not fired, then you're not getting this aid package, which was a substantial amount of money at that time. And I can't remember exactly what that was, okay? Maybe $1 billion or whatever it was, right? And then Biden sat there and said, and lo and behold, imagine that. They fired that prosecutor. So there's always games going on, you know. Yeah, and that prosecutor permanently disappeared. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I mean, there are things going on, that we're never. I mean, we're nobody. They don't care about us. They're not pacifying us. They'll give us whatever story they want to give us. But Zelensky bought an island with a multi-million-dollar mansion and a Bugatti. Yeah, I don't know about all that, Pam. I really haven't paid that much close attention, but that wouldn't surprise me. That he's got a place to run off to if he needs to. You know, yeah, we're just here paying the bills. Exactly. That is a very good point. Very, very. So, guys, too, if you want something to stand out for me, in the comments, all cap locks, it just pops for me more if you have that question. So, but anyway, Yeah, so I'll tell you, I'm gonna go back to the puppy real quick. I was really concerned because his face was pretty swollen. But whatever it was that he had that popped today, and then Hella was really attentive to him today, very, very attentive to him. So, and he seems to be much, much better. So, really happy about that because I kept feeling that, and it was like, I'm like, okay, it's not his jaw. He's drinking fine, he's eating fine, he's playing. He was in pain, obviously, but like somebody had said in the comments, it probably was an abscess or a boil or something to that effect. And but that popped and whatever crap was came out, and he definitely looks much, much better. So really, really happy about that because I was like, to be honest with you, I can't afford to take the dogs to the vet. There's another part of it. So did I solve the mystery of the loose chickens? Well, what happened was, like I said, when I came home last night after going to do laundry, it was 1 in the morning, and I'm pulling in, and I'm like, that looks like the gray chicken sitting in the driveway. And Steve goes, what? I go, that looks like the gray chicken. And so I stopped, and sure enough, it was the gray chicken. Um, I don't. It could have been my fault that I didn't latch the gate. I don't know. Um, there is no sign of a break-in in any way into the chicken run. None of the chickens were hurt, so I'm not 100% sure what happened, to be honest with you. And so I was able to get the gray chicken and two of the brown chickens last night. And so Miss Betty White, one brown chicken, and Lucky were not. I couldn't find them last night, so I brought the three in and got them back in. And then this morning when I got up, I went outside and I didn't even let her out yet because I said, let me go see if these chickens are out here first. And sure enough, there they were, the three of them out there. And so I just started calling them, and Lucky and Betty White followed right away. And then the brown chicken, she came up, bringing up the rear. And I opened up the door, and the gray chicken started trying to want to get out. So I had to shoo her back in. And then I kind of went, I opened the door, and then I kind of went around the back side of them, and they just went right back in. And then the brown chicken, she came right in and got them all back in. So, and we will be doing an egg count tonight. So, but usually some kind of trauma like that, I will tell you, will definitely affect how many eggs they lay because they were all shook up or whatever because they were all out. So luckily, none of the chickens were hurt. They all seemed fine. I got them all back in to the run, and and stuff like that. And then of course, then I was dealing with the power thing, trying to figure that out. And I had told Steve afterwards. I said, the funny thing is with that, sometimes, no, I don't think so, because raccoons would have got them. Peter, raccoons would have got them. Not all six chickens would have gotten away unscathed. If a raccoon had got in there, it would have gone into the coop and it would have caused major damage. So I don't believe it was that at all. But anyway, so then I was, a lot of times when there's an issue, it's the simplest thing. And so I'm like trying to troubleshoot everything, and I'm looking in the battery room, and the batteries are charging fine, and there was no issues there. And I'm going, okay, why don't I have power to the camper? So I came in the camper, I popped the breaker box, I'm like checking all the breakers, and I'm looking if do I need to reset? Nope, that's not it. And I went out and I'm sat there for a second. I was like, okay, what could it possibly be? And then I went, let me check the connection. And they're simplest thing. Check that connection, put it back together, power, everything's beautiful. So I don't know if I stepped on the cord or what happened that caused it to get loose. So, but it got loose, and that was what the issue was. Something very, very simple, which was an easy fix. But again, it's all about that troubleshooting. So but it's one of those kind of days. So I'll tell you this. So I had one tank, and Steve had two tanks that needed to be filled today, and we go to the same place to get our tanks filled. if you go to an exchange, okay, let me explain how this works, okay? So if you have a propane tank and you go to a convenience store, right? And they got the tanks out front with a little whatever on the tank itself, right? And so you're paying for that. Those tanks are going to be down here, they're like 22 and change. So then after taxes, you're looking at 25 bucks for that exchange. Those tanks, if you're lucky, are 80% full. They're not 100% full tanks. They're maybe 80% full tanks, okay? But if you go to I go to this particular feed store, and if you go there, they're going to fill the tank 100%. And what it costs to fill that tank 100% is about $15. Okay, so that's a huge, huge difference. Savings. You're saving over $10, and you're not getting a 80% full. You're getting 100% full tank, and so that's why I go to where I go to get the tanks filled. So we had Steve had two tanks. I had one. Excuse me. So we went there today, and so he's starting to fill the first tank. Well, their tank, which is 1,000 gallon tank, okay, it's 1,000 gallon tank, was out. We got like 1 pound, in the one canister, and so he goes, yeah, we're out. He goes, I'm gonna have to get on the phone with him and get him out here to get this filled again. He goes, it should be later this afternoon that they have it filled. So I'll probably wait till Monday because they're closed on Sunday, and I'm not going to go tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. But so that's what happened there. So we didn't get the tanks filled, and then they were like, "Don't worry about the 1 pound that we filled. Don't worry about that." I'm like, "Okay, So, but so yeah, so we did not get the tanks filled because I mean they've been going through, because of the weather that we've had down here. A lot of people have been, you know, working on getting their tanks filled up. Yeah, Steve is still working. Yep. So, but yeah, so that was part of that deal. But yeah, it's always I taught folks when you have a piece of property and you have things that you have to do, it's always going to be something. So what do you have? Two 30-pound tanks? No, I have 20-pound tanks. What I actually have, I have the 20-pound tanks for the trailer itself. And so I have six of those. No, I have eight of those. I'm sorry. I have eight 20-pound tanks. But then I also have um, I have 400-pound tanks. Now, the 100-pound tanks for in my mind for me, that's strictly SHTF type of situation. I can hook those tanks up to my propane thing. I can do that. I generally don't. So I have those. Just those 100-pound tanks are my emergency tanks. So I rotate through the 20-pound tanks. So that way, if a 20-pound tank gets emptied, and again, it depends on how cold it is, then I will refill that tank. Like today, it was nice. I didn't have the heat on in the camper pretty much all day long. So like this morning, I just turned the heat off. So, you know, I just had a comment. Somebody said, dogs probably unplugged your solar wire. No, they actually, I will tell you right now, the dogs, because I've been keeping an eye on this because I'm obviously very concerned about that. They have not chewed on any of the wires at all, as far as for the solar goes. They got all kinds of other crap they're chewing on, and but they are not touching the solar wires because I'm definitely keeping an eye on that. I'm probably going to box in the battery room so that they can't get underneath there anymore, just because there are wires. But the wires for the battery room are on this end and they go up and in right away. So they're not like way under where Hella had dug out underneath there. So yeah, it's just but yeah, that's how we're working on that. So but Anyway, like I said, it's but the whole thing with and of course the media. I just saw a thing too, and I didn't read the article because I just thought, okay, here we go with more BS. And they were like, oh, Marco Rubio needs to resign. Some person, of course, left leaning person was like, oh yeah, Marco Rubio needs to resign. Well, that ain't gonna happen. He just got appointed, and he's not going to resign. But I just thought that was funny. The whole situation with everything that's going on and the way people are reacting to everything that's going on. It's just I don't know how anybody, of course, the mainstream news media has their slant. They're very left leaning, and they've been left leaning forever, right? We already know that. So anything that Trump is doing is always automatically bad. It's never, nothing is good. That's just the way. If you're looking at any of the left leaning news media, that's what you're going to get. Everything is bad, nothing is good. And the fact that Elon Musk is and I love how well he's not an elected official. No, you're right, he's not. He's an appointed person by the Trump administration to root out the corruption. You know, and I just all of it is I think is hilarious. The reaction. I just saw another list of 10 things today that they just eliminated, totaling like $16 million for these 10 things. And I don't remember what all of them were, but I remember a couple of what they were, and I can't remember exactly how much money was each one. But even if it was $2 million, I mean, they were the depths of puddles. There was like 2 or 2.3 million for the depths of potholes, the amount of water in potholes. You're going to put a study on the depth of water in potholes? Really? Really? And that's not waste? That's not wasting money? The other one was, feng shui mailboxes. There was over $1 million, I think, for that. Feng shui mailboxes. That was one of the things, and they've eliminated that now. Another one was bubble wrap. Is popping bubble wrap uh, calming? There was like $2 million to do that. I mean, it's just ridiculous waste of taxpayers' money on stuff that Ed Hochul's trying to ask Trump for 150 billion in assistance for public transportation. Good luck with that. I don't, until Hochul they get a hold of their own problems with number one. Oh, so we'll talk about this one too. We'll talk this actually something we should have been talking about before this, but we'll definitely talk about this here now. But until they get their illegal immigration situation squared away. Now, right now in New York, okay, now we have the judicial system is a train wreck in New York. They have the catch and release system up there. So if you are a criminal and you commit a crime, right, you're processed, you're put right back out on the street, and so they can go commit more crimes like auto theft or whatever the case may be. So right now, you have and see here, and I'm going to tell you what the problem is, and I'm going to give you my opinion. All right, I'm going to give you my opinion. So huge issues right now with this corrections officers. Corrections officers are on strike because of unsafe conditions, not enough staff, and of course Hochul, right, is going, oh, we understand, but just go back to work. Just go back to work, and they're not, and I don't blame them, and they shouldn't go back to work. They've brought in the National Guard when they are having baby oil that has been heated up thrown on guards, when you've had urine and feces thrown on guards, when you have guards are being assaulted, okay? You notice how those things never happened in the past? Guards weren't attacked. Now, they attacked each other and they did heinous things to each other, but they generally didn't do it to guards. You know why they didn't do it to guards before, folks? I'll tell you why. Because when you did stuff like that to guards before, they would beat your behind. You would catch a beating like you had never seen before. But in this new feel good and everybody has to, oh, their poor feelings need to be addressed. Listen, if you're in prison and you've committed a heinous crime, and the reason that you're in prison is because of that crime, um, you lost your rights. You don't have any rights. And so if you act like an animal, you deserve, and this is my opinion, I'm giving you guys my opinion. If you act like an animal, you deserve to be treated like an animal, okay? And I don't blame the guards. They need more people. That's the biggest thing. They need to have more people. They need to be able to, you know, do their job without getting their butts kicked every single day and not being able to do anything. And because the prisoners know they can't do anything back to them. So when there's nothing you can do to them, so if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Exactly, ADK man, exactly. But I feel terrible for these corrections officers. They need our support, all of them, and it's not just in New York; it's all these other states. But when you let the bleeding heart liberals make the rules, that's when there's a problem. You know, um, you know. Let's even go to police. Okay, you ever watch some of these videos? The way some of these people act with police officers nowadays. I'm going to tell you what, folks. I grew up in an era when you got pulled over by the police, and I'm going to go from my personal experience. I have been profiled, right, because of the way I looked, because I'm a biker and I ride a motorcycle, and I with the tattoos and riding a Harley and the whole 9 yards. I mean, I have been profiled, so I'm going from experience on this. I've had good encounters with police officers. I've had bad encounters with police officers. Not every police officer is a piece of crap. Now, are there ones in there? Any job, folks, any job that you're doing, you're going to have good guys and you're going to have ones that are pieces of crap. Now, they do have the thin blue line where they protect their own. I get that and I understand that, okay? When I was growing up, you had a healthy respect for the police because you knew if you acted like an idiot, you were either going to end up in jail or you were going to get your butt kicked. So I didn't play with the police. I still, to this day, I don't play with the police, okay? Because I grew up in a generation where I'm going to be yes sir, no sir. I want that interaction with that police officer to be as minimal as I can be. There's, first of all, if you pull me over, there's a couple things. I'm not going to be drunk, number one, and you're not going to find drugs in my vehicle. So I'm not worried about any of that, right? And no, I'm not going to let them just search my car. So no, I don't want you to think that I'm just going to lay down, but I'm going to be respectful, because if you're respectful, it goes a long way. But hold on, guys. Mom, I'm doing a live stream. I'll call you back when I'm done, okay? Oh, you're good. Okay, I love you. All right, bye. So, Mom, because it comes up as Mom, so I gotta answer that one real quick. But there's also a thin blue line in the medical industry, and they protect their own. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, it happens. Yes, be respectful, but know your rights. Exactly. If they're trying to trample on your rights, you got to stand up for yourself. Like I said, as a 14-year corrections officer, I avoid any contact with law enforcement. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I'm not looking for trouble. I'm not out there speeding like a demon, acting all stupid, doing whatever I want. Um, but you have to realize you better be respectful, because they can ruin your day. They can I mean, all these guys with the cracking the window this much, and I can hear you, and I'm not putting the window down. I will put the window down, folks. I have actually, like my last encounter with police officers, all right, and I think I told you guys about this, was a state trooper, female state trooper. The very first thing I said to her when she came up to the window of my truck, I said, I want you to know that I am armed. And she was like, okay, where is it? And I said, I have one on my left hip, And I said, I have another one in the center console of my truck. And she was like, okay. And we dealt with that first because I don't want them to have any reason to shoot me because I'm not doing anything wrong. And none of my guns are illegal. So there's nothing to worry about. Okay. So if you go in with that, respectful attitude, usually you're going to be okay. But yeah, and don't give them a reason to jam you up. Exactly, Dale. If you're respectful, I've gotten out of tickets just because of being respectful. So there's a couple times that's happened, and because I was decent, nothing to hide, and I get it. You know what? I got my head shaved. I'm a bigger dude. I got tattoos. They look at me and they think a certain thing. But you know what? I'm just me. I do my thing. I'm going to try to have as little contact with them as I possibly can. But, we do need to support our corrections officers 100% because they have the worst job out there. The worst job out there. A lot of times, what I do, especially if I'm armed, I will tell you this right now. When I put that window down, I will take both of my hands and I will put them like this. Oh, I cut my hand myself here. What did I do? That's weird. I don't even know that I. What happened? Are you gonna help me? Huh? Are you gonna help me? You're good. So, but I'll take both of my hands and I'll put them like that on the window. So when they walk up to the truck, they see my hands are out the window. Or I'll have them at, like 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. Come on, baby, down, baby girl. Good girl. So that's the way that I do it. Just because I am avoiding problems, I want them to, and I'll say, I just wanted you to know I am not a threat to you. So I want to, right from the very beginning, I want to decelerate. I want them to feel comfortable. I don't want them to come up there and be all tense and like, what's going on and what are you doing? I'm trying to avoid problems as much as I can. Hella is a beautiful dog. Thank you, Gator. I appreciate that. Yeah, she's a good puppy. She's a good girl. Like I said, she'll be 5 in August already. I can't believe she's already almost 5 years old. But all right, let's do this. We're at 309 on the thumbs up. Or I mean, in the chat, we're at 200 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you for that ahead of time as well. All right, so let's go ahead and do egg count. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Betty White. So we'll go from there. So I'll give you guys a minute to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. So. But nice day today. I mean, we were 100% on the solar panels, power wise. Really enjoyable. I didn't turn the heat back on probably like 6 o'clock tonight. I think about 6 o'clock I turned that back on. So, but yeah, so I'm happy to say all the chickens are back in. They're all fine. Everybody's good. And it was so funny because I'll tell you, I couldn't find 3 of them last night to save nothing. I don't know where they spent the night, but this morning there's Lucky and Miss Betty White and one of the brown hens, and there they are all just sitting there. And I'm like, well, okay, let them right back in, and they went back in nice and easy. So I was really happy about all that, So anyway, if you had the same exact guess, is a multiple time winner. And I guess you guys, I'm gonna let you guess. Who do you think won the egg count when I say a multiple time winner? Who do you think won? There you go. DJ, if you had the same exact guess as DJ with 3 eggs today, and yes for Miss Betty White, then you are 100% correct. So thank you very much. So congratulations to DJ once again. You are the winner. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there you go. So that's too funny. But yeah, I was actually, to be honest with you, I didn't think I would have a good egg count today out of 5 hens because of the trauma, you know. But they still gave me 3 eggs, so I was really happy about that. I was real happy about that because actually the puppies ended up getting 2 eggs today. I gave them 2 of the 3. So I had a bunch in here. I called Steve up and I said, "Hey, you want some eggs today?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll take some eggs." I said, "Well, come on up. I'm going to cook some eggs up." So I cooked up like 8 eggs today for him and me. So we each had 4 eggs. So Ed, you've been there now for a couple of years. What season is the most stressful for you there, summer or winter? Uh, different. Each season has its own challenges. That's a great question, JJ. I appreciate that. Winter, so I don't mind the cold. All right, it's not the cold that bothers me. It is when the wind is blowing and it's cold. That's when it really truly sucks. Winter has a tendency to be more expensive because obviously I'm running through more propane in the wintertime. So it costs more for that reason in the wintertime. Dealing more with extreme weather in the winter is more difficult. So if I had to say which season is worse, it would definitely be winter. Summer brings its own challenges. I mean, with the bugs, um, you know, having to try to keep up cutting the grass, uh, you know, uh, dealing with all those type of things, and then like with the heat, depending on how hot it is, and thank goodness that solar, or I mean the solar, I get enough solar power that if I need to run the air conditioner, I can do that. So that's one bonus of it, but it can get hot in this camper. In the summertime, it can get extremely hot in this camper. So there is you know those are the different aspects of summer, and it just but so if I had to say which one is more difficult, um definitely winter is much more difficult. But that's what you're gonna each season brings its own unique challenge. Now in the summertime, we will get from like June, July, and August, we can get, this last year and the year before, very little rain in that 3 month period of time. I think this last year we had 2 inches of rain in 3 months. So it was extremely dry. And, but that's going to happen. You're going to deal with that as part of, so it's just learning the patterns. That's why one of the things why I wanted to get the rain catchment set up so that we had more than enough water. So when we hit those dry seasons, um, it's not the humidity's not that bad, Vlad. I mean, in the summertime it can get warmer, but we don't get generally 100-degree temperatures in West Virginia. So we're not, if it hits 90 degrees down here, that's generally a lot. It's a pretty high temperature if we hit 90. But it's you know, winter. I mean, you can always put more clothes on. You can't take more off. So when it's really super hot, it makes it more difficult. Have you met any of my distant cousins, the Hatfields? Actually, I have met. I think it was the Hatfields that I've met up through this area, and I actually asked the people that their last name was Hatfield, and I was talking to them, and they were like, "Yeah, we're part of that group." So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I heard this summer will be much hotter, going to cause a problem for our gardens. Well, that's again another reason why I wanted our rain catchments to be up to snuff and ready, because that way we can have enough water on hand. So when we're in those periods where we're not getting a lot of rain, whatever vehicles, have, you know, we have enough water available to do our gardening and stuff like that. Because I definitely this year, hopefully, we're going to get at least one greenhouse in this year. We got a lot of things now that we got to take care of. The road has got to be addressed again. Um, it's just one of those things. So, but we'll figure it all out. We'll figure it all out. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of plans for this year. We got a lot going on. My mother was fostered and raised up here in Vermont, but her biological family is from Logan County, West Virginia. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah. I live in Georgia. In the 1980s, it was 104 in the shade. They kept telling me climate change. Right. Yeah, exactly. At the police need to bring back the rubber hose for one, and two, uh, certain people need to reach out and teach their kids how to interact with police. Well, the thing is, a lot of that comes, yes, it's a respect thing. And if your parents are not teaching their kids how to be respectful, I always talked like to Heather. I said, if you get pulled over, always be respectful. You know what I mean? Always be respectful. So, but people, they think that they can act a certain way and do um, you know, one rural prepper, you're going to have to raise your dues to pay for the road. No, that's part of infrastructure. One rural prepper, road maintenance, whatever projects that we're working on, that's all part of infrastructure. And any dues that are not that it's any of your business because it's not. Um, any dues that we vote on what we're going to use that money for, because as part of a group, I saw I'm going to address a comment that I saw because I laughed at this comment. The person was like, so what's the long-term plan if you're keeping all four of the puppies? Are you going to keep them in the wolf's lair, or what are you going to do with them? Because if I was a group member, I would not be okay with them staying in the wolf's lair. Well, that's why you're not a group member, because you're an a-hole, right? The puppies are there for right now. Where I decide what I want to do with my dogs, I will make that decision. I live here full time. Okay. So there you go. But hey, Ricky Bobby, a cup of coffee on me. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the donation. Very appreciative. Thank you. But yeah, I have to laugh at people the way that they act sometimes. It's just like, really? So what do we got? 288 in the chat. We're at 240 and a thumbs up. Let's go for 10 more. 50 today, guys. If we hit 250, it's 10 more thumbs up. So it's a few minutes left. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel once again, and I do appreciate that. Also, if you are if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to give all notifications as well, and I thank you for that reason as well. So we're at 247. We need three more to hit that 250 mark. So, but Full of Hope says, I think some don't thumbs up because of what? Oh, they don't want to. And that's fine. But yeah, how can you hate on puppies? Listen, the puppies are healthy. They're happy. They're doing well. I change the straw out at least once a week. So, hey, Ray, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, it's just seriously, that could be their house. You could just put a fence around it. I could. I won't keep them there long term. That's not the plan. I want my dogs with me. I will tell you. And if that means I have 5 German Shepherds in the camper, I will have 5 German Shepherds in the camper. And if people like that or don't like that, really don't care. What I decide to do with the dogs is what I'll decide to do with the dogs. They're good pups, good tempered puppies, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so guys, I am going to jump off here, but I want to get back to doing my STD thing, okay? Really, really important to remember STD, okay? Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. whatever you're trying to do in life, doesn't have to be about prepping, okay? It could be anything in general that you're trying to accomplish. The only person that is going to stop you from achieving your goals in life is you. That's it. I had a really nice young man that I know that just got a promotion, and he was moving from one place to another location. So he was relocating for this position. He's 23 years old. And I mean, he had just turned 23 and he'd been with this company already like 4 years already. And I said to him, dude, you know what? I said, I see the potential in you. You, by the time you're in your 50s, you're going to be a general manager, not a general manager, I'm sorry. I said, you're going to be a district manager. You're going to be the guy going around and checking all these places and seeing how things go. Um, Really genuine young man, very, very good at his job. And, you know, I really like this kid a lot. And he used to say to me, he goes, Ed, man, he goes, you see more in me than I see in myself. And I said, listen, and I told him, I said, I don't like a whole lot of people. I go, but I like you. And I can see where you can go and what you can do. And it's only person, I said, and I used to say the same thing. I said, Mason, who's the only person that's going to stop you from achieving your goals? And he looked at me and he would go, me? And I said, exactly. Remember that. And he was like, I will. And he will go far. This kid will go far. And if he screws up, it's only going to be on him. So, again, with all of you guys, whatever you're trying to do, whatever your goals are, whatever you're trying to accomplish, it's about methodical, working methodical to achieve your goals. And again, the only one stopping you from getting there is going to be you. That's it, nobody else. So, anyway, guys, please be safe. Have a great weekend. I will see you all on Sunday, 8 o'clock on Sunday for the live stream. So, hang in there, do what you can. And remember, life is a choice. You know, it can be great or it can be miserable. And we all have that choice of how it's going to be. Have a great night. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. And we're at 264, so we went right past 250. All right, good night, guys.